Right now, 72 degrees at 10:01. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
With the 56th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Nate Borkacher, tight end, Texas A&M.
It's a touchdown! Borkacher makes it a one-score game!
Yeah, I did have a vision, or I guess, at night, so I guess it's a dream, that, we were taking them. I don't remember what, where it was at or what pick or anything. I just remember that it was somebody that we've had a lot of like for a long time.
It is caught! Nate Borkacher brings it in and ties the game!
He's going to be really good. He's a better athlete than people give him credit for. He's going to be a better pass catcher, and he's a good blocker.
Yeah, I'm just excited to get in there and learn and prove myself, and I think I got a long way to go. I got a high ceiling, and I'm ready to go prove it.
Room service, touchdown, Borkacher. Made it look easy.
He reminds me a lot of an 87 that I was a teammate with for 1 year up in New England.
Oh.
Stature-wise, he can catch everything. He has really soft hands. He can run routes. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and call him Grunk. But like I said, he reminds me of Grunk.
Borkacher still on his feet, pushed out of bounds finally.
My face is a fan. Get in there and get physical and play through the whistle, and I think I have a lot of potential in the passing game. I've made big plays in my career. When the ball comes my way, usually been able to capitalize.
Read to the tight end, Nate Borkacher.
What boxes for tight end does he not check?
The trend in the NFL was that heavier tight end sets was going to be something that got prioritized, but he was the one we were hunting up.
Now, Jaguars Today on 1010XL with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and RJ Saunders.
All right, everybody, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday Top 5 will be coming your way here shortly. We'll dig a little deeper into the Jaguars depth chart today. Tony Smith, good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
They've been letting us backbenchers hold this show down for a while, so who knows what guys who are currently listed as non-starters will have the biggest impact, but we'll certainly have opinions on that today.
Yeah, a lot of options, right? So
there really are.
Say I consider, 25, maybe even to 30 guys kind of the starters, even if they aren't all listed, but there's enough of them that I kind of half list them as a starter in my head. So it's like, all right, I won't use him, right? Like if I have him attached to that kind of thing, I won't use him, but that still leaves you, this time of year, 60 guys?
Well, yeah, if you are going that route, like I went strictly off the ESPN depth chart that we tweeted out with that. And if you're not listed as a starter there, that doesn't mean ESPN is the gospel on this, right? And that can bring up some conflicts between our own opinions and what the folks over at the ESPN think about the likelihood of certain guys starting this season. But that's just so everybody has kind of the same basis to work off of. But as always, answer the way you see fit.
Absolutely. I think I wound up with a list of 11 that I narrowed down to 5, right? And it was kind of difficult to figure out what am I trying to do here, right? Like with the 5, like what exactly am I looking for, in this 5? So it's kind of a list that I think it's fun because it is so open, right? Like there are really no right answers in this one.
There are some, though, that I would expect to see.
Yes.
Right? Like I would expect a running back at least to make most lists out there, whether you're talking about Basil Tutin or Quinn Allen, or maybe both of those guys, based on the fact that I don't think either one of us thinks that Chris Rodriguez is coming in to handle 65% of the work out of the backfield. So, and he is the one listed as a starter, by the way. A lot of the usual suspects, your offensive line, they list Cole Van Lannon as the left tackle, as they should. Ezra Cleveland, Hainsey, McCary, and Anton Harrison. Obviously, Trevor, Brian Thomas, Jacoby, and Parker all listed as starters. So, again, if you're going to go with Travis Hunter today, you're only talking about his impact on offense because we baked in his impact on defense because he is listed as a starter. And I think it will clearly, in my opinion, be the Jaguars' top cornerback. At least the expectation is for him to be the top cornerback this year. So we'll see how that all works out. I'll also hear from a couple of Jaguar rookies this morning as well as members of the 1010XL 50 8-person contingent that was out at minicamp. Spoke with Tanner Koziol and Emmanuel Pregnon, so we'll hear that coming up. We'll also hear from R.J. Saunders. I don't know. Let me think. Right about now. Hello, R.J. Good morning.
Morning, guys. What's the hap?
All right, very important question for you. In your sphere, have we seen the last of LeBron James on an NBA basketball court?
Not on an NBA basketball court, but probably as a Laker.
Okay, but you think he'll play another season?
Yeah.
Ring chaser.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, ring
I
chaser.
don't know why
category.
I paused on that when I hate the guy, so I'm sorry.
I don't know. Maybe give you Pakame Dadier, something like that. You know,
You want him on the Knicks?
You know, for Dadier, you know, our bench has been getting a lot of play in the playoffs
You'll
here.
have to give us OG.
He'd get some minutes. He would get some, please.
You'd have, and then I guess you're gonna have to enjoy LeBron being in Golden State.
Fine. So, you think LeBron's better than OG Anunoby at this stage?
No, but you think I'm stupid? You think I'm just going to, oh, yeah, give us Dottie.
Well, obviously, I'm being facetious.
I know.
But come on. Come on. It's a sad night. Did you watch the game?
Yeah, and then I turned it off.
Once
I found out that, you know, like DeAndre Ayton can't catch a cold, let alone catch a ball.
You didn't know that prior?
Oh, I knew that prior. Okay. I just thought something would change, but, you know. Okay.
Hopeful. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move off of that. We got to get a little basketball night twisting in early in the program today. Tomorrow. I think it's safe to say what we have coming up on the program tomorrow. Don't wish your life away, people. We still have a fine 2 hours to go here on this one. But Tony Baselli, Executive Vice President of your Jacksonville Jaguars, is scheduled to join us live tomorrow at 11:15, so we'll look forward to that and just talking about all things off-season. Tony's first year on the job, obviously the draft, the reaction to the draft, where this team is headed, and all those kind of good things. So we got a lot more in store for you as the week goes along, but that's something to hopefully look forward to for tomorrow. All right, so officially, here's what we did for the question of the day. Who are the top 5 Jacksonville Jaguars who are not currently listed as starters that will have the biggest positive impact on the 2026 season? And that's out there on the socials if you want to reply with your list of 5 guys. You don't have to give explanations, but the more you do, the more we appreciate it, and gives us a better informed view of how you feel about your football team. So if you want to be part of the conversation, as always, 641-1010 on the Key Buick GMC phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can stream us on YouTube, on X, and on Facebook. And you can also find us on the socials at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at R has no J. Schedule leaks, dribs, and drabs continue to come out, Tony. And, so again, I get it, man. The pain in the neck it is to have a full-time job that is relying on trying to get clicks on the internet is beyond me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, somebody the other day had one out here. Schedule leak, Jags versus Cowboys, November 26th, which is Thanksgiving, and the Cowboys apparently playing the Eagles on Thanksgiving. Again, that's why we tell you, don't listen to any of these people that throw leaks out there. Some of them have some guess right, and it's mixed in with a bunch of bad information that they go back and then delete afterwards, and then it looks like, wow, look at their timeline, man. It's amazing. They never miss a prediction. It's funny how that works.
And all you have to do is wait 4 days and you'll know.
Or less,
yeah.
Right? I mean, we're like 2.5 days away from knowing what the schedule is going to be. So, and we'll all weigh in, and we'll do our annual win-loss kind of thing. And I tell you, last year, Tone, I thought, am I being a homer here? Am I just, I got him at 9-8, coming off a 4-win season, first year, so much newness around these parts. Am I homering up too much to add 5 wins to the bottom line? And apparently I was nowhere in the ballpark of homering up enough last year.
Yeah.
So this year is going to be a more interesting type situation as, they start from a much higher, loftier perch going forward. All right, so today we will hear from Tanner Koziol. We will hear from Emmanuel Pregnon as Rick Blue and Hayes Carline caught up with those gentlemen out at rookie minicamp. So that's coming your way. And then we'll get into the Tuesday top 5, digging deep on the depth chart. And we'll kick around a lot of names that didn't make our top 5. It's tough to, there are certain guys are going to play a certain percentage of the snaps, and that's going to be an impact. There are other guys that may play unless there's injury, none, or could win a job outright. So you kind of get in that no man's land of how much you want to push the agenda of who you think is competing and likely to win a starting job. So all that and more coming up today. Glad you're along with us. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, RJ Saunders. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
You don't want to do that. Oh, but I do.
Where fun and games are serious business.
What are you prepared to do?
He's crazy. We gotta stop him.
1010XL.
Jeff Prosser here. When you need new windows or doors, you want high-end quality without the middleman markup, and that's why I'm telling you about Cash Building Material. Same premium materials, same beautiful finishes, but at a price that actually makes sense for your home. No subcontractors, no runaround, just their own experienced crews who treat your house like it's theirs. If you want it done right, the first time, get a quote today. Thank me tomorrow. For windows and doors, search Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
My name is Savannah, and I was looking for a way to track my fitness results in a tangible way. I chose DexaFit Jacksonville because I wanted real, measurable results. After one quick DEXA scan, I knew my exact body fat, muscle mass, visceral fat, and even bone density. No guessing, just data. It gave me a clear baseline so I can now set my goals and track my progress with a lot of confidence. If you want real insight into your body, I highly recommend DexaFit Jacksonville. Book your scan today at jacksonville.dexafit.com.
Have a ton of Friday morning Gator fun with Dan Hicken, Jeff Prosser, and Gator great Patrick Young.
Patrick Young here, a.k.a. the Big PY, and you know I love my Florida Gators.
Tipped off by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and Kuhn Flowers.
Some auto shops love giving your wallet a flush every time you visit. Not AA Automotive. They fix only what needs fixing, nothing more. Honest, fast, and fair. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
It's the perfect day. You're just driving along, listening to your favorite music, the windows down. There's a cool breeze. Life is good.
But wait, hold on a second. You're not wearing a seatbelt? You'd better put that on before that... Uh-oh, too late. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement, so you'd better buckle up or you will get caught. Sorry to ruin your day. Click it or ticket.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation. Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $5,000 per ounce, and silver is over $100 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold and silver for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Attention golfers. The all-new Back 9 Golf Lakewood is now open with free hour demos, discounts on founding memberships, 24-hour access, and you can even bring your own food and drinks. University in San Jose. Back 9 Golf Lakewood.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to floridahomeac.com/careers to find out more.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
Have you tried a Form energy drink yet? You need to, and it's available at Gate. 4 great tastes, screaming freedom, Blue Blitz, Orange Fury, and Grape Smash. Form energy, natural flavors, natural caffeine, and electrolytes for hydration are a perfect blend for energy and mental focus. Find it at Gate.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
Did you happen to see Saturday Night Live this week?
No.
I didn't either. Okay. I've been watching it less frequently, but a lot of times my wife and I, like, that's the last, kind of close out Saturday. She loves watching SNL. And so yesterday we watched, and this is probably the way to do it because they cut out like half the commercials when you watch it on the replay. But there was a replay. There's a skit with Matt Damon. And he was like, I don't know if he was a substitute or he was the teacher in the class. And he's like, hey, you've been having a great semester or whatever. So we're going to do something that we don't typically do. And that song RJ just played just kind of reminded me. It's just this kind of generic beat backing him up. And he plays it because we're going to have a dance party. He's dancing. Like, he has some pretty good stamina. He's like, throughout the length of the skit, he is moving throughout the whole thing. But he's calling out every student like, come on, Tony Smith. Tony's about to get up here and break it off. Let's go, Tony. And I don't know, that for some reason, that music right there reminded me. Maybe RJ is going to get up, challenge you to, he's gonna throw a line and try to reel you in, Tone, something like that. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work, but yeah, I guess you have to stream the program to find out. YouTube, X, Facebook, and the 1010XL various platforms that are out there. They're all there. So anyway.
Oh, I didn't know he hosted this week. I saw a couple clips. I was like, are these old? Oh, that was this week.
No, it's this week. And it actually made a good point. And he's like, yeah, I'm hosting for the third time. He goes, yeah, I know, right? It feels like to me, too. Like, it does kind of feel like Matt Damon should have hosted because he has been like a recurring character at times.
Oh, sure.
Playing different guys, coming back and what have you. And then he's like, I do have a movie coming out in 9 weeks.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, be sure to catch The Odyssey 9 weeks from now. Yeah, I'm a simple man. I'm easily amused at times. So anyway, Tony, lot of love for Emmanuel Pregnon in the top 5 lists that I see today, or at least a reasonable amount of love today. And I think if you ask people out of this draft class, who's the most likely guy to win a starting job, I think Emmanuel Pregnon would be that guy, because if you're, it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking, well, starting in 2 tight end sets, well, that's not your base offense.
Yeah.
Right. So Brenton Strange is your starting tight end. I don't think this is a team that starts 2 tight ends. Now, they may at times.
Yeah, there may be a handful of games where they do that. He gets a start that week.
I would not list him as a starter over any of the 3 receivers, not named Travis Hunter, that we already mentioned earlier, for instance. But you could see a path to Pregnon coming in and just being this, road grading beast of a man and earning the starting job and therefore having a massive impact on this. How, you don't have to tell me because we're not going to get to the countdown yet, but how much consideration did you give to Pregnon for your top 5 today?
I thought about him. He was.
That's that he didn't make it.
Yeah, he's certainly one of the 11 names that I had in consideration to cut down to 5 for sure. Yeah.
All right. Just curious, because I know a lot of people, and some of it's wish casting. And by the way, wish cast all you like.
It's May.
You're a fan. Do anything you like.
We're asking you what players are going to most impact the team this season. We're asking this question in May. We haven't even seen the whole team on the field together yet.
Correct.
Right? Like, this is a lot of wish casting and guessing as to how this is going to work, and that's fun.
It's just off-season stuff, man.
Yeah.
So if you want to draw plays where Trevor Lawrence splits out wide,
do it,
and Borkature comes under center, you can send them to us. We'll probably laugh at you, but I'd be interested to see him nonetheless. You know what I mean? A little Duval special coming your way. All right, let's hear as Hayes Carline was out at Minicamp, one of the thousands in attendance from 1010XL. We do run deep, man. There's no question about that. It's an impressive lot in terms of sheer numbers. When you see us, that may be the only way we're impressive, but whatever. Anyway, self-deprecation right at the top of the list. Here is Hayes with Emmanuel Pregnon. And Pregnon says right now, man, he's just trying to figure out what he needs to know. He's doing what he can to make sure he's as well-versed in the offensive scheme as possible.
I'm doing everything I possibly can just to, get myself versed and acclimated to the offense and, really pick it up fast, right? Because I don't want to come in and be looked at as a rookie. I want to be known as a guy that knows what he's doing and can be trusted on the field.
That's a question I think somehow we'll get it in for Baselli tomorrow, 11:15 tomorrow. Tony's going to join us on the program. How he's got experience as an offensive lineman. Obviously, he was the second overall pick. So, and, in a different era on an expansion franchise, and you knew he was going to be a cornerstone immediately. But was there an adjustment for him coming in, learning an offense, something different that you hadn't done at college? And how complicated are the different types of schemes that we're talking about for an interior offensive lineman in particular? It would seem like it's not as simple as see guy, hit guy. It's more complicated than that. And I would think that Liam Cohen's offense, as much as he is being lauded as one of the innovative minds out there, would probably have a few extra wrinkles that might take a little bit longer for somebody to come along with.
Yeah, it is interesting with these guys coming in. When do you stop feeling like a rookie? At what point in the process of going into your rookie season does it stop feeling like you're a rookie? Does it take until you get a month into a regular season and whatever that routine when does that clock
Did it take until
strike?
Fred Taylor ripped off a 47-yard touchdown or whatever it was?
Right. And maybe for a guy like Fred, you never really feel that rookie
Maybe you're
thing.
right. There's certain guys. Maybe Travis Hunter never felt like a rookie. Or maybe he kind of shook it off with that 8-catch touchdown performance against the Rams, too.
And maybe for some guys, it's not till you get into that first real NFL offseason, you're like, oh, this is what an offseason is?
Right. There are some breaks built in here.
Players just have this time off.
That is a big thing with these guys, and it's well noted, and it doesn't impact everyone the same way.
No.
But these guys are training. We talked with Borkacher a week and a half ago, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm going to play. I think he said he wants to play at 255, but it was 255 or 245. I thought it was.
I think it was 55.
I think it was 255 because probably, maybe I forget. I don't want to misquote him, but felt like he was saying he was about 10 pounds light so he could run his best 40 time, And so you're training for one specific thing, and there's so much that goes into that. And as soon as that's done, you're on to the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah, which is why, by the way, the team can look at it and say, we don't care what he runs, right? We're not really all that worried about what does he play at.
Right.
This is what we're going to evaluate.
We care
the guy
how fast he is, but that's not necessarily the best measure of it.
That kind of thing. There's reasons for them to handle that process the way that they do. Hayes also talking to Pregnon over the weekend, also asked him about coming in here, again, the rookie thing that he's got going on. So it is his first time in an NFL building, and he was asked about what is he trying to do as he does adjust to life in the NFL.
Your mindset and your framework over everything, mind over matter, right? There's a couple of things my coaches have professed to me, and I know when I was younger, that was huge. They always, that just not jumping off sides and whatnot, and doing your job was the main thing for me. So that's imperative to me, and I just want to do my job and be rooted so I can help the team.
All right, RJ. You saw Pregnon out there. We saw the guys at Rookie Minicamp. Right. Just give me an adjective or two to describe the physique of Emmanuel Pregnon.
Massive.
That's the exact word.
Followed by pause, but massive.
Massive pause, right. Yeah, absolutely. That's the one that jumps to mind. So Jaguars.com, by the way, has him listed at 6'4", 314. Okay? If you go to sportsreference.com, he's listed as 6'6", 297. What?
What happened?
Just like a kind of, I'm going to go with the Jags numbers on this because that's who he's playing for. But nonetheless, here's a guy, Tone, played 15 games last year, 13 the year before, 13 the year before that, 11 the year before that. He has tons of experience and really just didn't come off the field, and was asked by Hayes, what about his makeup and, enabled him to play as many consecutive games as he did at the college level.
Yeah, so I kind of, curated my routine over my collegiate career just with, I guess, trial and error, if you will. Yeah, just looking at what worked for me and what didn't. I had some hiccups along the way, and I was able to like find my routine from the cold tub, contrasting there, or finding things to do with core work, T-spine, all of these things that I started to incorporate just to keep my body healthy and keep a consistent regimen, and then that's really how you get the job done there.
Look, I don't know what T-spine is.
No.
I mean, and he does, and I'm sure the Jaguars training staff does. It's interesting. He's a guy who starts at Wyoming. He is there for a couple of seasons. He goes to USC, and we're just in this era now. Like back in the day, old man, back in the day, like in the 80s, you started at Wyoming. You ended at Wyoming for the most part. Or maybe you transferred one time, sat out a year, and played a final season somewhere else, or even a couple of seasons. But then he played 2 at USC, and then you left USC to go to Oregon, right? So, I mean, he's played for a lot of different programs. But you'd think, like, if he had just stayed at Wyoming, he may still be the same player. He wouldn't have played against the same competition. And I do think we're still conditioned, or maybe I'm speaking for myself here, to think that certain schools, well, yeah, I mean, it's USC, it's Oregon. They're going to produce better players than Wyoming. Well, he found his way, started at Wyoming and made his way up. Did he get better coaching along the way? I presume he might have, but
probably.
It's just interesting to watch the path of some of these modern players and how they got here.
Yeah, and how the process has evolved. Right?
Like, 100%.
Like it is such a different process than it was 15 years ago, 20 years ago for these guys to get in. I can remember we would do whole shows. Back in the day, it's like, should Adrian Peterson have been allowed to come in after his freshman year in college?
Right.
Like his body was ready to go. Who is going to have that argument for them ever? Right, with the way that these guys can get paid now in college. Like what Adrian would have made playing college football. Like,
right, he would have been making millions of dollars every year and all that. But for every one of him, I mean, there are just so few that can do it. But every once in a while, you see that rare guy that you're like, man, add 2 more years of NFL stats to his Hall of Fame resume. I'd like to see what Adrian Peterson could have done. And then again, maybe he comes in a little bit early and he gets hurt. You never know.
You never know. It worked out the way that it did for Adrian Peterson, obviously, in his NFL career. One more here from Emmanuel Pregnon talking with Hayes Carline on Saturday. He says, look, we have heard a lot about Pregnon just being a guard. That's what he is. He is a guard as he comes into the league. And Pregnon said, maybe not.
I'm a guard, but I have, the capability to play other positions, so I'm flexible. I have dual capabilities. I can get out there at tackle if need be and play both guard spots. So, yeah.
Oh, look, I want those guys coming in and going, man, you want to play me at fullback? Go home and play me. You want to play me at middle linebacker, right? We know we're not going to play you at middle linebacker, right? It's just more the I'm willing to do whatever necessary. And I don't know how much the Jags look at Pregnon and go, the versatility thing. Oh, that's nice. You can kick out to tackle. We have a lot of guys ahead of you in that line, just in terms of Anton and Cole and Walker Little, and even Milam, I would say, who has a lot of experience playing tackle collegiately. So it's good that you can. I think they're looking at Ezra Cleveland's got 1 year left on his deal. And we're going to get Pregnon now. And, go ahead. And if you could push your way onto the field in 2026, more power to you. Play the best guys. But they're looking at their starting left guard. That's what I think, at least, coming out of training camp in 2027 at a minimum. And if that's the trajectory, even if he doesn't play and he's just depth and he comes in when guys are banged up this year, there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you end up getting a starter who had to sit for a year and you got him at pick 88, and he goes on to be a good, 6, 7, 8 year guy for you. Who knows? Or maybe longer. Who knows?
It's all good.
Although he does come in a little bit older than your typical rookie, but that's becoming more commonplace now. Tanner Koziol also caught up. Our own Rick Ballou caught up with Tanner out at rookie minicamp. So we'll hear some thoughts from the other rookie tight end that the Jacksonville Jaguars were able to acquire in the 2026 draft. Give us your top 5 today of the players who are currently not listed as starters that you think will make the biggest impact, positive impact on the Jags this year. And again, if you are factoring in Travis Hunter, only factor in what you think he'll do on offense because he's already listed as a starter on defense. We attached the ESPN.com depth chart, which is not official, but that's what we're going off of today. So everyone's kind of using the same resource there. You can find that at MD_1010XL as we continue on. You're listening to Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Top salespeople don't rely on talent. They follow a system. At Sandler Sales Jacksonville Boot Camp, you'll learn how to control conversations, handle objections, and close with confidence. Matt Rocco with Sandler Sales here. We can help. There's a 2-day sales boot camp in Jacksonville, May 13th and 14th. We'll show you how to increase performance or that of your team. Call 904-646-1900. That's 904-646-1900 to reserve your seat today.
Homeowners, ready to let the sun shine in without letting your energy bills go up? At Renewal by Anderson, you've got 2 ways to save on new windows and doors this month. Take 20% off your entire window and door replacement project, or choose no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. But this offer expires May 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for fixing my air conditioner last week. It's way nicer at my place now.
Glad we could help. Good to know it was just a small repair.
I know. A new air conditioner can be pretty expensive.
I mean, they do keep your whole house nice. That's a lot of space to keep cool.
I know.
And they do it all summer long, even when the weather is totally Jacksonville temperature outside.
I know.
Luckily, if you ever do need a new AC, we can arrange a financing plan that'll make it easy for you to handle.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Here, put on these sunglasses.
Whoa. They can show banking information? Cool glasses.
Short term, long term, low interest, 0 down payment. There's all kinds of options for bigger projects or even repairs as low as $500.
I wish I had these math sunglasses in high school.
You and me both, pal.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey, Hickett here. Spring and summer air should feel fresh, not full of dust, allergens, and whatever winter left behind in your vents. Your air ducts, they're the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, you're breathing it every day. That's where Zero Res comes in, backed by more than thousands of Google reviews and a 4.9 rating. This month only, take 25% off all services, including your air ducts. That's cleaner air, better efficiency, and a fresher home guaranteed. Call 904-287-5727 or visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and mention the 1010XL.
Springtime is the perfect time to get your home organized. Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and I love our closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live. From closets and garages to entertainment centers, laundry rooms, and storage for any space and budget. Make an appointment to tour their showroom on Phillips Highway and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off free installation and 18 months special financing. Schedule your free consultation at 904-878-90.
The time to buy an emergency generator is before you need it, not when you're sitting in the dark. Storms happen in a hurry in Florida, so be prepared. Protect your family and property with American Electrical Contracting. Call them today, 737-7770.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents. Look no further, though, than I-9 Sports, covering Duval, St. John's, and Clay to get your youngster in the game. Summer and fall registration open right now for flag football, soccer, t-ball, and basketball, plus girls volleyball at UNF and Bishop Snyder. Fields and gyms all over the First Coast, including Fort Family Field. And the best thing is, I-9 Sports offers sports year-round, so kids can always find a sport to play. i9sports.com, enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, RJ Saunders with you. Other perhaps guests joining us this week. We got some irons in the fire around these parts on Jaguars today. And I am superstitious, so I don't like to jinx it until it's like semi-confirmed. And we can tell you that EVP of the Jags, Tony Baselli, will be joining us tomorrow, just over 24 hours from now at 11:15 tomorrow. So wide-ranging questions for Baselli, and if he wants to critique any of my tweets during the draft, I don't delete them, Tone. They're out there.
They're up there.
Fair game for anybody to have a shot at, if you'd like, and they're all opinions at the end of the day, and I think Tony gets it, and gets it in the sense that, like, we're covering the team. At times we're going to critique him, but in the end, it's coming from a place where, maybe it's not this way in New York or Philadelphia or Chicago, but we're not in New York or Philadelphia, Chicago. I openly root for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if that's a problem, so be it. It's not a problem for my boss.
No, yeah.
So, I don't think it's an issue as long as you're still doing it objectively. Yes. Not just trying to, gloss them, as the term might be, for anything. Some people might think that anyway.
This will get a reaction.
I felt like I might have been doing that last year when I said they'd go 9-8. So I don't know what to tell you. All right. Tanner Koziol, Tony, I don't know if you know this. He is tall. This guy is a weapon, was a highly productive receiver. Jags list him at 6'7", 250, right? Big guy. Red zone weapon, you can imagine right away. Now, for him to get significant playing time on this team, he's going to need to work on the physical aspect of doing some of the dirty work, I think. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. To play for this football team, yes.
Right. Even that doesn't mean, that
they can have a role in mind for him.
Sure. Like BTJ stretches the field, but don't think they don't require Brian Thomas to be out there blocking aggressively for Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, and company, or in the run game, what have you. In fact, really, some of the most successful run games, the offensive coordinators will point to that, the blocking ability, the physical abilities of the guys out wide. Do they buy in? And when they buy in, do they have the ability to move people, or at least to wall them off? And I think the Jags have prioritized that in their approach. Now, it's not like you look at Parker Washington and go, he's going to drive guys off, but I think he's willing and he's stout, and so anyway,
we know that, Jacoby puts in the work in that regard.
Oh, no doubt. Right. That's why I didn't kind of mention him. He's been noted as being one of the, Jacoby's just a pro's pro.
Yeah.
Right. He's not the best at anything, but he's pretty good at everything.
Jacoby kind of matches. He doesn't have the size of a Brenton Strange, but he matches that blocking energy. Where when he gets one on you, he lets you know, right? Like he stands there and lets the guy know it's like, that was me that got you there, son, right? Like he has that kind of attitude with it, which I guarantee you the teammates in the room, they love that kind of thing.
So here's Tanner Koziol with Rick Ballou on Saturday. This was at rookie minicamp, and Rick asked him what the Jags have said to Tanner about what they'll expect from him this season.
Nothing about that. Just get here and learn. Add value as a person in the locker room, on the field. Just adapt to the team and be yourself, number one. Like how I led in college, how I led at my schools. Just lead the same way. Be who you are and really just learn and learn and learn and adapt.
And it does, obviously, it's you get to the point where you're like, oh, man, kumbaya, team captains and all that. Gene Smith went after those type guys as well, too. But again, the football character thing, you don't have to be a team captain. You just have to be a guy that is willing to work and accept, the things that come with the privilege that you have to have the opportunity to play here. There are a lot of good players that fall through the cracks. And look, are there holes in Tanner Koziol's game? A guy that productive as a receiving tight end in a year where all their tight ends were going early, for him to go, go fifth round? There have to be some holes in his game, but the Jags are well aware of what those are.
Yeah, and along those lines, the conversation we were having about Tanner just a few moments ago, Rick Ballou did ask him about being a player that as he comes in, is he being asked to be used mostly as a pass catcher as he steps into an NFL role?
Yeah, it was really just the coach's hands that I was put in. They really trusted me with a lot of things, and I was able to learn and execute the plays that were called to how they wanted them to be executed. And just being a quarterback's best friend, being very quarterback friendly in my routes and using my body to my advantage and knowing how the quarterback's going to want me on different routes or what he sees and like the leverage that I have, just using all that to my advantage and, again, using my size as much as possible to my advantage.
It's not just us. It's, I think, anybody that follows the team when you're trying to project how you're going to use Tanner Koziol. The easy thing, we've all talked about it, red zone weapon, right? Red zone weapon. You get him out there, the field shrinks, right? And you can't go as deep or as wide, but you can go up. And at 6'7", he has the ability to pluck it out of the air. And look, we've seen Trevor throw some contested kind of jump balls to Parker Washington, to Jacoby Myers, much smaller guys. Mm-hmm. So this could be a real weapon.
Give you a chance, yeah.
Yeah, at least, if it works out. We're looking at the best case scenarios here, obviously. But Rick asked Tanner about the potential that he brings in the red zone.
That would be great. Obviously, I love the opportunity for what I'm great at, but overall, just being great all around, being great in the run game, excelling in there, and then just really whatever's asked me to do, just get that job done and executing it. Obviously, the red zone is where I've excelled, especially in college, but just continue to get better in all aspects of the game and continue to even get better in the red zone and what I can do there.
Who doesn't love touchdowns, right? I mean,
yeah.
Hey, Tanner, would you like us to use you between the 20s and as a decoy? Or would you like to come in for some key snaps where you might score 5 or 6 touchdowns this year? I don't know, man. I'm just throwing that number out of thin air. That's not any kind of prediction.
Yeah,
but
that would be a lot. But
that would be a lot, right? Yeah. On a, I don't know. We'll get to that point where we start to suss out where can Trevor Lawrence go really statistically in year 2 of Liam Cohen's offense, because they do want to run the ball. But if everything clicks together, kind of what's the high end of that range, and how do you then see that being distributed between all the various weapons that he potentially has? And let's be honest, right? They're not all going to work out the same way. Last year we thought, as you pointed out this week, Brian Thomas might be the best player on the roster. And then you're wondering, where does he fit in the wide receiver room?
Yeah.
Right? So things change and your expectations aren't always met, but at least the Jags have some options there. So if you want to hear more from Emmanuel Pregnon, Tanner Koziol, go to 1010XL.com. Check out the on-demand section. You can hear the full interviews Hayes Carline and Rick Ballou did with those two gentlemen. Coming back, let's dip our toes into the top 5 waters to maybe discuss some guys that didn't make the cut, or maybe we'll save that for the end. I don't know which way to go on that, because you're right, Tone. There is a lengthy list of candidates to put in the top 5 today. Be interesting to see who we ultimately came up with. So we'll start that process straight ahead. You're listening to Jaguars Today. RJ Saunders is here. Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey here with you on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
This Friday marks the debut.
Introducing The Lead with Hayes Carline and Ryan O'Halloran.
New conversations, new perspective.
4 to 6 on 1010XL.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
Sent in, and Sporting Jacks breaks through first.
For the latest on Jacksonville's pro soccer team, join the Sporting Jacks Coaches Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues, every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010 AM and 1010XL.com.
Firehouse Subs is adding a new heavy hitter to the roster, the Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Grilled chicken, melted cheddar, crispy bacon stacked high with fresh toppings, and creamy buttermilk ranch. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher, only at Firehouse Subs.
Homeowners running out of space in your kitchen, closets bursting at the seams, or maybe your bathroom just feels outdated and cluttered. At Harvest Construction and Remodeling, custom cabinets are what they do best. Owner Scott spent years as the main cabinet installer for one of the region's largest big box retailers. As a family man growing his own business, he brings that experience directly to homeowners like you. They'll create beautiful storage solutions that improve look, feel, and function. Visit harvestrenovations.com.
License number CRC 1331012.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
This is Dr. Hiram Carrasquillo, orthopedic surgeon, fellowship training foot and ankle conditions from the orthopedic specialist of Jacksonville. Achilles tendon injuries are common in athletes, but most can be prevented. Warm up properly, stretch your calves, build strength gradually, and wear supportive shoes. Listen to your body. Don't push through pain. Protect your Achilles so you can stay in the game. For more tips, visit osjax.com.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Have you been thinking about selling your home and you haven't pulled the trigger? Let me tell you about Chad and Sandy and the experts that will help you make that decision. Mortgage rates have dropped. They're expected to move lower. Home sales momentum is building, so now's the time to get your home ready to maximize your sales price. It's time to call Chad and Sandy, the proven experts to sell your home. Need to sell now, need to sell fast, need max price. Check, check, check. Chad and Sandy have the science behind it. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jonathan writes from Mount Pleasant. The only thing standing between me and my dream of hitting the road in my RV was selling my Mount Pleasant home. After hearing Chad and Sandy on the radio, I gave them a call. The results were unreal. In just 3 days, I had multiple offers at full asking price. So can you. Call the local experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200, or chadandsandy.com.
Hacker here. How many of you remember hearing about 40 by the 4th last year? Thought about making the call to Awaken 180 and then didn't? Then Independence Day rolled around, you hadn't lost a pound, kicking yourself for not pulling the trigger when you heard the ad. I've been there on plenty of other stuff in life, so no judgment. But here's the difference this year. Awaken 180 just launched Reclaim, a 10-week plan with a real start, a real finish line, and one clear goal. 40 pounds by the 4th. Not eventually, 10 weeks mapped out, and then free support for life. You all know my results with Awaken 180. You can have the same. Celebrate Independence Day 40 pounds lighter, cold beer, and a burger in hand, thanking yourself that you made the call to Awaken 180. And you won't be the only one. Hayes has a buddy jumping on board, and our sales guy Greg just told me he is making this his year. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, win-win-win loss, win-win, win-win, loss. Ooh, 2-game losing streak. Win-win, loss. I don't know. We'll find out. Schedule reveal is coming Thursday night. There'll be dribs and drabs. I heard ESPN discussing today. Should they put one game out every day in the offseason? One game. Like, no. First of all, the schedule's not done until I bet it wasn't done until the last month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and because there's so many different things, then you want to highlight, certain games, certain things. I find it an interesting decision that they're putting Denver, Kansas City on Monday night in week 1.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of,
they don't know where yet.
Yeah, well, a lot of Mahomes is ahead of schedule, doing a lot of heavy lifting for that schedule right there. Like, okay, Justin Fields versus Jared Stidham. Monday Night Football.
Wouldn't that be
wrap
something?
up week 1?
Yeah,
I mean, Bo Nix did have a little bit more going on with that knee than they suggested. They said he was fully cleared, then another procedure, and then I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm not sure, but I assume he'll be fine. Anyway.
They said this week that they thought he'd be okay for camp. We'll see.
And if he is for camp, he obviously should be ready for the opening weekend. But I just do find it that was aggressive to put Mahomes on there, but I mean, it'll be outside the window. They know how he's coming along.
Yeah, the league's come a long way from back in the day when the the whole league schedule got put together with note cards on a kitchen table. Like, that's literally the way that it was done. The commissioner would just put the cards on the table, and he would get calls from George Halas very angry about, I'm not going to the West Coast. Do you hear me? I'm not going to the West Coast. Like that, it used to be all politicking with the big boys in the league as to where they would and wouldn't play. Today is a little bit different.
Yeah,
you know who they're
kind of
playing and where.
Farm that out.
It's just when.
Right. But there are, other than just putting it together, you got to considerations. Well, is the big Taylor Swift tour or whoever, just
is the stadium available that week?
Right. Is the stadium likely to be available? You got the Florida Georgia game. You got all the different, those kind of things that you got to factor in. So I don't think it would be as easy as, hey, the season's over, the Super Bowl's over. Let's start dribbing and drabbing. And then imagine they decided to announce today the week 13 contest between Tennessee and New Orleans or whomever,
The schedule release is the NFL May event. They're not changing it. They want a big one every month in the calendar year. They got one.
And they're dribbing and drabbing it all week long to get you to do exactly what we're doing, which is talk about it a little bit. All right, so the Tuesday top 5 today, looking for 5 guys who are currently not listed as starters to make the biggest positive impact. I decided we will begin the official countdown in a few minutes, but Tony, who is the toughest last cut you had to make before getting into your top 5?
He was on and off the list a couple of times for me. Right at the number 5 spot, but wound up off Jarian Jones.
Okay.
And it's the fourth corner for the team. I think if Jordan Lewis goes out, a couple of years ago during his rookie year, Jarian Jones was a player that was as highly rated as anybody playing that corner spot. Right, like playing that slot corner spot. He was as good as there was in the league, essentially, that year. Now, he hasn't earned a starting job here in Jacksonville, obviously, but he's the fourth corner, so he's still going to play, 35% of the snaps?
At minimum.
Yeah, like week to week, that kind of thing. And if one of those top 3 guys goes down, obviously the numbers go way up, so his opportunity for impact obviously balloons up as well.
That's why I say at minimum, right?
Yeah.
Like, he can fill in for any of the guys ahead of him.
Yes.
And there will be times when you're in dime defense and different scenarios. So I think Jarian is a good one to have under consideration. Who is the toughest cut for R.J. Saunders on your top 5?
Josh Cameron.
Really?
Yeah. Because I do believe that what's going to be the answer for Trevor Lawrence, a guy who has weapons, give him more weapons. And I think that, there's going to be this depth that I think that Jacksonville wants to be able to accumulate throughout the season. And, this guy's going to be a bit of a developmental project, for the first couple of years. But I do think that he can make an impact in year 1 where we can kind of see the vision of what they want to do with him. So Josh Cameron just made it off my list. He's an honorable mention.
He was not really under much consideration for me. I'll be honest with you. I'd have a hard time delineating between Cameron and C.J. Williams, who went kind of consecutively. You hear some good buzz for both of these guys. I mean, I like him. I just think it's a crowded house right now. And here's one thing I didn't do. I saw somebody suggested on their top 5, and it's totally valid. Do it however you like. Said Ray Lane, because he's going to make a big impact on special teams. I kind of feel like he's a special teams core starter. You know what I mean? Like, for me, and we didn't make it that specific, so that's fine. So I didn't really factor in any of the special teams impact, because I think
did for one player,
for one guy. Okay, that'll be interesting. And if it's as a primary kind of a return man role, that's a little bit different than coverage and what have you, in my opinion. For me,
that's where Tootin made an impact at times last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, there's no question about it. You can do it. I'm just saying I didn't really go down that road. It sounds like RJ just thinks that Josh Cameron might just be another offensive weapon, which is fine for the Jags. I'm sure they hope that he turns into that. For me, Gardeck filled this spot. First of all,
he's a weird one. Like, I consider him a starter in my own head.
Yes, me too. And that's there's a little bit of a cheat, right?
Yeah.
The ESPN depth chart listed the starting linebackers for the Jags as Foye on the weak side, Ventrell Miller as your starting middle linebacker, and I think he gets the first opportunity there, and Jack Kaiser on the strong side. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Probably not.
I think Jack Kaiser is. Let's find out this year. You're going to contribute on special teams, but can you be? I think of him more as like a middle linebacker. Right. For if he can show this year that he can handle that role, I think Ventrell is in a much better position if he stays healthy to make that impact. So, but for me, looking at Gardeck, I almost blew past this when we're talking about which rookie needs to be talked about more outside of Pregnon and Borkacher. We were talking about that yesterday. And I said Wesley Williams. And it's just easy to forget Gardeck is there, and he'll be another year removed from major injury when he comes in this year. And if he can stay healthy, man, I think he can, he could play some base downs, but he can maybe turn out to be your third most prolific pass rusher. Certainly your most prolific potentially coming off the bench for this team.
Yeah, I think if you were going to take a guess at like who the top 4 or 5 sack guys were going to be, Gardeck is likely in that group.
Right. Likely, at least a safe guess.
Right. Like I think
he's going to get opportunities.
You obviously have Josh and Trayvon on that list. You probably still have Armstead on that list. Right. Like somewhere
Unless
in that
you think
5.
Rook is coming.
Right. Like that kind of thing. And I think Gardeck is relatively safe to assume. Would be that because it's hard to figure out exactly how the rest of it's going to be chopped up. But Gardeck already seems like he's going to play 40% of the defensive snaps as that strong side linebacker when they use it, right? Like when they use it, Gardeck's likely to be the guy they're going to be using it for, and they let him rush the passer when he's in the game, and he's been effective doing that kind of thing. So he's likely to finish, 5 or 6 minimum in my head as a sack guy for the football team. So yeah, it's that position doesn't start. So they don't get really list him as a starter, even if you were going to list it, right? Like he is playing 40% of the snaps, though, so he's going to get exposure in the defense.
Right,
plenty.
He's going to have opportunities, and he's a good player. And, and he plays with the high motor, as they like to say. But the Jags will love the high motor. Trayvon Walker plays with a high motor.
High
Josh
motor,
Hines
bad hair guy. Yeah,
and there's no issue with that. In fact, that is sought after by the Jags, self-motivated type guy. So I had Gardeck just outside my top 5. When we kick off hour number 2, which is in a few moments, we'll go through the official top 5 list today of guys who are not listed as starters that we think will have the biggest impact. And I'm here to tell you already, Tony, I kind of cheated because Gardeck officially would be 7th on my list. I have co-number 1s on this list. All right. So that's how I did it. All right. And whatever. Okay. So Tuesday top 5 coming up, hour 2 of Jaguars today, straight ahead on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL takes you inside the program director's office with Dan and Jeff.
What are you looking at?
Daddy hit me with the ball.
The Drill.
Jeez, you two, knock it off!
Mornings on 1010XL.
I think you were married or something.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialist. I'm Robin, the owner. My team provides expert service, done right the first time on all makes and models, plus a nationwide after warranty for total peace of mind. Action Transmission on Merrill Road. Get traction, call Action.
Looking for a real career with great pay and full benefits? Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. As a growing, family-owned company that cares about its employees, they're hiring lawn technicians in the Jacksonville area. No experience required. This is a salaried position with top industry pay. Full benefits, a 401k match, and paid training. Apply today at JulingtonCreekPestControl.com. Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Equal opportunity employer.
Memorial Day, friends, family, great food is what we look forward to all year. But when your septic system decides it wants to be part of the conversation, nobody wants that. Getting a pump out now is a smart move before things get, let's just say, uncomfortable. Duck Rooter, Northeast Florida's only master septic contractor. They've seen it all, and they get it right the first time. Right now, get $50 off septic tank pumping. Keep the memories, not the mess. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckrooter.com.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Frank Frangie here with Coach Delaney from Koziol Fencing. For years, your offenses have been putting up a lot of yards in points at Fletcher. I hear Koziol also gains a lot of yards in the fence world.
Yes, Frank. Koziol Fencing has been serving the Jacksonville community and general contractors for 99 years. We fence tens of thousands of commercial and residential yards, all while maintaining an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau.
99 years?
That's right. Some might call it a dynasty.
To schedule your appointment, visit KoyleJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Bud Light and everyone at Anheuser-Busch want to remind you to get home safely every time. People are counting on you, on the road and at home. Plan ahead with safe rides, and don't forget to hydrate between beers. Bud Light encourages everyone to enjoy responsibly and socialize safely.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is JJ with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia from Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, his adorable chessman sidekick.
There are two things you want to ask when getting a custom polymer garage floor coating. Will it be done right, and will it be priced right?
And just how charming is their mascot?
No. At Checkmate, our small specialized install teams follow a strict 29-point installation checklist
to ensure the highest quality results at a price you can afford.
A Checkmate polyaspartic floor can be customized in dozens of colors and sweeps up sparkling clean in just seconds.
No need to wear your shoes in the garage to avoid tracking dirt back into the house.
The quality you expect?
Check. A price that might surprise you.
Check. A floor you just can't wait to show your friends? Checkmate! Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate. Visit CheckmateCoatings.com. That's CheckmateCoatings.com.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Southern Oak Insurance. Jag Talent draft pick Emmanuel Pregnon is working to get the offense.
I'm doing everything I possibly can, just get myself versed and acclimated to the offense. And
Major League Baseball, the AL East leading Rays stay scorching hot. A win over Toronto, they're 15th and 17 as the offense keeps rolling. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 73 degrees at 11:02. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, hour two kicking off here on Jaguars today. Just about 24 hours away from Tony Pacelli, Executive Vice President of your Jacksonville Jaguars, joining myself, Tony Smith, RJ Saunders here on Jags Today, talking all things, what else but Jacksonville Jaguars. And, we focus a lot on this draft class. I do want to kind of reflect with Tony a little bit, like what caught him by surprise, with what went easier, what went more difficult during the first year plus now of his service as the EVP. But that's coming up tomorrow. Today, Tuesday, top 5. We ask you for your top 5 guys who are currently not listed as starters that will have the biggest positive impact on the 2026 season. If you pick Travis Hunter, you can't factor in his defense because that's already baked in because he's listed as a starter on defense. RJ Saunders, why don't you start the countdown?
Number 5.
And why don't you start us off there, RJ Saunders? Interesting to see who you have number 5.
Nate Borkacher. Yeah, I just believe what we heard from Liam Cohen during the rookie minicamp when he had his media availability and just talking about Nate Borkacher can open things up for a guy like Britton Strange as well, as to what we can do on the field. I think that he really, really views Nate Borkacher as a guy that they're going to be using heavily in this offense and in this system going into year one, not only with blocking, but I do think in a lot of pass catching schemes, we will see him being, utilized kind of in that fashion as well. So it does seem like this guy, even though he is listed as the backup, he is going to be a guy that's going to see the field early and probably make a big impact on this team.
Question for tomorrow's Jaguars today, Tony, is RJ stars during the Tuesday top 5. Do we need RJ Cam? Is that a must to have RJ Cam turned on?
It turns on
the stream
for ET. I don't know where the camera goes
because he selects it to be on. Anyway, RJ, are we twins? Do we share any mitochondrial DNA or anything like that, because I got Nate Borkature at number 5 as well, my friend. And I do think, look, he's the highest draft pick made by this team. They've got a plan to utilize him. Okay, Tone, something you said when we were out at the Guggen Open has stuck with me. You know, people say, oh, you know, we needed, what are we going to do? Where's the pass rush? We had to get Josh Allen off the field. We couldn't stop him when it mattered in the postseason. True. But your point was, hey, if Nate Borkature had laid the key block on a 4th and 2 and Trevor Lawrence converts it and the Jags stick in the end zone, who cares if we could stop the Buffalo Bills at the end? It might not have mattered. You still might have been able to put it away. They obviously love him. They obviously have a plan to utilize him. They have a scheme design and a belief of where the NFL is heading, and he's going to be a big part of that. Not only for himself, but his presence alone. Does that make things easier on Brenton Strange to be a weapon in the passing game? Does it help the running backs? Yeah, all these things are potentially major check marks for yes on there. I think RJ's spot on here. Obviously, I agree with him 100%. Nate Borkature is going to make, in terms of an impact on guys that we know we wouldn't list as starters today, a significant one for this football team.
I saw a quote from Charlie Kohler, I think it was, the Chargers blocking tight end.
Formerly of the Ravens.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So he's out there with the Chargers now, and he was at a press conference and he was asked about like the lessons he's learned since he came into the league. And he said, one of the things that I've been surprised by since I got here is the thing that I find most satisfying in playing football is when you get a 3rd and 3, they know we're running. We know we're running. Your wife knows you're running. You can't stop us when we do it. The clock's going to run out. You burned your timeouts. We just won the game. He said it is the most satisfying moment in a football game for him. And it makes sense from the position that he's in. And I do think a lot of the attitude, you know, talking about Borkature and these kinds of things, that is kind of what they're betting on, is we want to be better at when we want to do this, you can't block this punch, right? Like they just want that punch to be more difficult to deal with coming from this football team coming up this year. Not enough for me to have Borkature at number 5 on my list.
Fair enough.
But just talking about some of the rationale there. For me at number 5, I have BJ Green. This was a fun list to put together because it is all about projecting. And if I were to guess right now which defensive end, which takes Gardeck and Armstead out of the conversation that we were just having as well, do I think will wind up 3rd in the group as far as sacks this season? Right now, I would guess that it'll wind up being BJ Green.
Okay.
And he is the one that he was more put in those situations last year. If you look at it coming back from last year, he's already 3rd on that list, right? Among the defensive ends that are returning to the football team. But if I had to guess which one it was going to be, even with the draft pick, even with the names that they brought, like all of those things being accounted for, if I had to guess who it was going to be, it would be BJ Green.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to rip anybody's selection here because we're all speculating on different paths to relevance here. But I do think trading up in the 4th round to get Wesley Williams, whereas, yes, they identified BJ Green and they talked about him, Liam Cohen did on Saturday a little bit as well. I think you got to show it every single year. And they brought in the guy that when you draft a guy in the 4th round, you're expecting him to get those opportunities. Now, if he can do it, great. I don't care who it is. You know what I mean? I'm like beholden to Wesley Williams or anybody else. But between, you know, Gardeck in some of those situations, Strigo's going to still play for this football team. I couldn't get BJ Green up near my top 5.
Like I generally look at Strigo as more of a run game guy. Like I think he's the guy that came on the field a lot for Walker when he was dealing with the wrist last year. It made sense. Like he's more that kind of defensive end for him. I think Green is more the pass rusher of the 2 undrafted guys that signed last year, and I think those opportunities are going to expand for him here in year 2 as opposed to contract.
All right, so let's move along here, RJ.
Number 4.
All right, number 4 for me, Tony, is a guy that just missed the cut for you, and that's Jarian Jones. And I again, in a perfect world, how much does Jarian play? Well, he plays in dime packages. Maybe he plays in place of guys to give guys a rest. Maybe there's some scenarios where, you know, this week, maybe Brian Thomas is not available, and we're playing Travis Hunter more on offense, and this gives more reps. I just think I think they look at him almost interchangeable with Monteric, Jordan Lewis. I think the talent of Travis Hunter puts them in a different category. But in terms of their comfortability of, hey, Travis Hunter's going to miss 2 weeks. We'll roll with Jarian. No problem. Like, we have total confidence in this guy. I think he can play inside. I think he can play outside. I think he's going to be a guy who even if nothing goes wrong, is still going to have a not insignificant role in this defense. But if something does go wrong, and you got a lot of guys that could happen to, that's going to open the door for a lot more playing time for him. So he's both in the mix and a heartbeat away from being a much larger part of the mix for me.
Number 4 for me is Travis Hunter. I think he'll be playing 30 to 40% of the team's offensive snaps, even if he is playing 75% or more of the team's defensive snaps this year as well. His talent on the offensive side of the ball, in my mind, leads to 2 or 3 impact plays a game, right, for Travis Hunter, which is what we basically saw from him last year. You know, when he was playing the volume that he was playing. Like, it was 2 or 3 times a game, he would do something that you're like, whoa. Like, you just don't have anybody else on the team that can do the kind of things that Travis Hunter can do. So I think his impact is still going to be felt, even if he is a little more limited but as far as how much he's exposed in the offense this year. I still think his impact is going to be enough that it deserves a spot on this list.
Okay, RJ, who you got at 4?
He may be a non-starter right now, but Emmanuel Pregnon may find his way on the field. I think it's going to be hard for these guys once they see him in training camp and probably in a couple of preseason games to say, like, are we sure we want to have this guy as a backup? And also, I think with how Jacksonville wants to play, you keep hearing about the physicality Liam Cohen wants to play, especially in the trenches. It does seem like he fits that bill to a T for them. I think it is going to be difficult as to who you sit down. I think we had conversations about, like, would you make McCary a guy who's going to be the swing guy? Is that an option in which you have? If that is kind of the option in which you're going with, and I think Pregnon probably steps into that Patrick McCary spot and is that guy on the inside for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Maybe he's not. Maybe I'm wrong. But, I think Emmanuel Pregnon is going to be a guy that's going to make an impact and also be an individual who I think it is going to be difficult for them by the time we get to week 1 of the regular season saying maybe he's our backup instead of a starter.
Here's the thing. I don't think it'll be difficult. You know, in the sense that, hey, maybe we didn't expect this, but they're showing you, look, if you got the goods, like, this is silly. Not even going to go down that road. Just about anybody you can imagine, just about. There are probably a half dozen to 8 guys that almost nothing could happen to impact their status on where they are on this football team. Sure. But for everybody else, like, maybe in their mind they say Ezra Cleveland's a starter or Patrick McCary's a starter. If Pregnon proves that he's a force and has to be dealt with, I don't think they'll have any issue, Tony. I don't think it'll even be a hard decision. And the decision is the evaluation. And once the evaluation is made, this is our best option. Boom, decision's made.
Did you win the job or didn't you?
Yeah.
That's essentially how it works on their offensive line.
Anyway, I think a lot of people putting Pregnon in their top 5s today. So let's see if Tony and I have him in there when we continue the countdown. In a moment, we'll come back, get to 3, 2, 1, looking at guys currently listed as non-starters. We use the ESPN depth chart. That's what we linked it to, just so everybody's kind of going off the same page here. That'll have the biggest positive impact on this team, the top 3 or 4, as the case may be, when we return in the moment on Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL.
I just installed a tackling dummy in the studio.
I'll be like Liam Cohen and handle the offensive game plan. I drew up a blitz package on my laptop.
Tom McManus, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl. Helmets and Heels. Weekdays 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
Get hit by the man in the back, Tommy Mack.
I'm bringing you straight to the gridiron to show you what it's like to put on the Jags helmet and pads.
Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
The Jacksonville Waves tip-off opening night, May 15th at 7 p.m. in the brand-new Upshot League at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. Experience the excitement of women's professional basketball and be a part of history. Get your tickets now at wavesupshot.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Beetlejuice!
It's showtime! That's right! The whole world loves Beetlejuice! It's a rowdy, rambunctious, rollicking good time! And a big, fantastical funhouse! We're raising the bar and occasionally the dead! You've never seen anything quite like Beetlejuice! May 12th through the 17th, Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets on sale at fscjartistseries.org.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Tony Baselli, EVP of the Jags, 24 hours. Tony, you got 24 hours. You got 23 hours and 56 minutes is what you got. To get that phone ringing. Tony will be calling in on the hotline tomorrow, and we'll grill him on all questions related to your Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll look forward to that with Big Bo giving us his time, so definitely plan your morning around that one at 11:15. You can stream it just about anywhere, YouTube, X, Facebook, you name it. We got it. We've got the countdown going. Tuesday top 5 here, looking at non-starters, technically non-starters. It's funny, you look at that list, you're like, I think he's a starter over this guy, whatever. So we're just trying to go off this kind of a ranking here at ESPN.com, and we have now broached the top 3.
Number 3.
See, Tony?
Number 3 for me, this is the one that I mentioned. I may have one of my guys that I considered special teams a little bit as far as
You're
their
allowed
impact.
to consider anything you like, sir.
Right, but it's a specific angle on the guy. It's LaQuinn Allen, the player with the most clear role I think, of any of the guys that I have on my list defined as by the team as of right now. Third down back with conversations already being had about wanting to get him more involved as a pass catcher. Pretty good bet, again, to make a handful of impactful plays this year on special teams beyond that as well. Like, just talking about the positive impact that I think he has the potential to have for the football team going into the year. All of those things combined has him at number 3 on my list.
Let me ask you, when you say positive impact on big plays on special teams, you're thinking as maybe a kickoff returner, or are you thinking as a blow somebody up kind of guy?
Returner or blocker, right? I saw, it was a couple weeks ago now, I saw that Robert Hainsey was doing an interview on a podcast, I think, with Mitch Morse.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah, and Mitch asked him specifically about, guys that are kind of stood out like that kind of thing, like attitude kind of thing. And the guy he mentioned is LaQuint Allen. Like, just off the top of his head. And he's a headache for anyone that's playing against him, right? He's the guy who's putting the shot in the ribs. He's the guy that last week when there was a fight going on the sideline, all his own teammates, when they saw LaQuint coming, had to step in between. Like, they knew he was coming to do something crazy, right? Like, that's kind of the attitude that LaQuint Allen plays with. Like, it's a combination of all these kind of factors. It's one of the things when he came in as a rookie last year, and he was talked about as being a blitz pickup guy as he was. And we had the conversations about, if you're that good at that kind of job, your role expands, right? Like, it's the opportunity for your role to expand in an NFL offense is going to be boosted by you being the guy that they trust to help the quarterback in those moments. And LaQuint already has that kind of thing. And if there are going to be conversations about we want to get the ball in his hands as a receiver a little bit more, like if they're already talking about that kind of thing, I don't know what it means for the other two guys in the backfield specifically, but I think the role for LaQuint Allen was already whatever it was last year. It's only going to get bigger this year in my mind.
So LaQuint Allen cracks your top 3.
Yes.
Very interesting. RJ Saunders, who makes number 3 on your list?
Jarian Jones. Can you make an argument, and I'm asking the Hall of Fame experts here, can you make an argument that the 4th DB is almost essentially a starter? Almost. It seems like, week after week, especially this year, with people understanding that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be now the hunted and not necessarily the hunters necessarily. They're going to throw their best at them all the time. And I think Jarian Jones is going to be a guy that we'll see a lot on the defensive side of the ball. And if that's not the case, where they're not having to utilize 4 DBs on one particular play or possession, if a guy is, out due to injury, hopefully not, but he has shown, and he did show last year, that he can fill into that spot and he can also produce. So I'm certainly excited when it comes to people that, are coming onto the field for this team next year. The one that I'm excited to see and really kind of, keep my eye on is Jarian Jones, to see how he does this year with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So he's in my top 3.
To answer your question, you can make any damn argument you like, RJ. Some of them better than others, but I think, look, I got him in my top 5. Yeah. You do. Tony had him just on the outside, so I don't think you're going to get a lot of argument.
I think he's going to play 30 to 40% of the defensive snaps without an injury happening.
With much greater ceiling beyond that if an injury happens to any of 3 guys.
Yeah.
Any of 3 guys. So number 3 for me, I'm going to maybe a little tiny flag plant on this one, okay? A lot of people have Emmanuel Pregnon as ready to take over left guard, right guard, whatever. I think a lot of people are just skipping past the guy they drafted in the exact same range, who's got a year under his belt and was held back due to getting hurt in training camp, and that's Wyatt Milam. And look, Pregnon, I got no issue with him. Look, if they both win starting jobs, I think that's on the table, but I think certainly by 2027, if they're not your starting pair of guards, there's going to be some disappointment in Jaguar fandom. Those third-round picks are not insignificant. And I look at it this year, and I feel like last year was more of a necessity to get a guy. And they got Milam, and I know they took Ransom, but they were like back-to-back picks, so it really didn't matter. Here, again, they were willing to risk not getting Pregnon because of Albert Regis. And we talked about that a little bit. And again, that doesn't mean that Pregnon doesn't turn into a fantastic player, and he may well. I just think like people are like, oh, shiny new object is here, Tony. Let's forget about Milam. Let's go on to the next thing. And I think that's a mistake. Wyatt Milam can, I think, put it this way. If Cole Van Lennon weren't ready early on, and Walker Little or Anton Harrison gets nicked up, I think there's a good chance Wyatt Milam's playing some tackle for you early in the season. I think he's going to compete with McCary right out of the gates. And Pregnon get in the mix as well. I'm going to give it to the guy that's been here in the system for a year. Milam, for me, for 2026, gets the nod over Pregnon. We'll see how it plays out.
No doubt. More on Milam in a moment.
Oh, more on Milam in a moment as we get to
Number 2.
Number 2 in the countdown. Whose turn is it to go? RJ Saunders?
RJ, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, we'll be watching the Tide roll away, sitting on the dock of the bay. Bashal Tootin. I think that for what it's saying, I know you guys like that.
I did. Thank you, Otis Redding.
For what, the depth chart says, which I was going to assume that they would put Tootin as the starter, but they say Chris Rodriguez would be your starter. I think this guy is going to be a great change of pace for the Jacksonville Jaguars, should they want to play faster. At the same time, I don't know. With the arguments that you gave about Wyatt Milam, you drafted this guy, very high, in the first 4 rounds of the NFL draft last year, and everyone had presumed that this was going to be the starter, down the line if you didn't want to, pay ETN the money in which he was asking for. But to go based off of what, the ESPN depth chart is saying, I think Bashal Tootin's a guy that he's not going to be used in kind of like this limited capacity, or we can only use him on, certain plays. I think this is a guy who they really believe in, and they showed that last year and how they drafted him. And I don't think Liam Cohen's going to make the same mistake twice. If this guy gets hot in the game, we got to keep giving the ball to him. We can't, just allow it to say, that's it. We're done. You did your job. Now we're going to let, our other guys, finish it up. No, I think Bashal Tootin's due for a big year.
All right, Bashal Tootin, maybe more on Bashal coming up as well as we get to number 2. Tony's already listed this guy. Travis Hunter. Man, I can't get away from...
He's so talented.
He really is, right? And I looked at it last year, Tony. He averaged 4 catches a game, right, which would put you at 68. Now, granted, he was playing 2/3 of the snaps on offense. It is different now, and we didn't have Jacoby Myers throughout all that. But I don't, everything they continue to say is that we're going to grow his role on defense. Nobody said anything about the other side of the ball, and the assumption is it's going to shrink dramatically for some people. It may shrink. I don't know if it's going to be dramatically. And again, go back and familiarize yourself with those highlights of Travis Hunter with the ball in his hands. He doesn't need to have 70 catches to make a major impact on this team. He got a 45 and break 45 ankles to go with it. He's such a unique talent that I find it hard to believe that an offensive-minded head coach like Liam Cohen will not find a way to get him in, especially early in his career. If you're going to do it while the legs are as fresh as they're ever going to be in his NFL career. And so I'm with you. We just had him a couple of spots different in the ranking, but I couldn't make this list. And with Milam, I think Milam could win the starting job, and then he vaults to the top of the list for me, right? But not knowing that uncertainty, I know Travis Hunter is going to have a role on offense, whereas I can't guarantee that to be the case for Milam. So I put Hunter ahead of him.
And it would be foolish to forget all the stuff he did, making people miss last year, and he did, right? As a receiver, he had all that going on. But he's also the guy who made that catch down the field against Kansas City.
Yes.
Right? He's got all of it in him. He's got, if he only came into the league as a wide receiver, he'd be the guy. Right, for the Jaguars going into this year, and none of us would be questioning it, whether or not he was the guy going into this season, but he is a guy who's still going to play both ways, and it's a matter of what is that going to look like. For me, number 2 on the list is Wyatt Milam, and yes, you can take this as a vote of confidence that Milam will win a starting spot on the offensive line this year, right? That's essentially what this is. As I said, it's May. So these are the kind of bets that we can make that'll look foolish in 3 months. That's fine. That doesn't bother me.
Won't be the first time.
Right? With any of that kind of thing. But if I had to bet on one of the 2 young guys between him and Pregnon to win a starting job on the offensive line, my bet would be on Milam to be the guy who wins that kind of thing, more so than Pregnon, even if it is just kind of a slight edge in my head, but it's enough for him to be number 2 on my list.
Yeah, I do think, Ezra was really good last year, too.
He was.
And that doesn't mean Pregnon can't win the right guard job, right? But you and I seem to be sharing the belief that let's not forget the guy who already has somewhat of a toehold here in Jacksonville in Wyatt Milam. All right, time for our final timeout, or not our final timeout, but at the bottom of the hour here, we'll come back with today's golden moment and reveal who we had ranked number 1 on our Tuesday top 5 of current non-starters that have a huge positive impact on the Jaguars' success in 2026. And we'll look at some of your lists that you submitted as well. We'll continue to remind you tomorrow, 11:15 on Jaguars Today. Tony Baselli, Executive Vice President of the Jaguars, will join us live. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
I'm Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski. He wins. And you're listening to 1010XL, Jack Sports Radio. This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we know not every injury happens on game day. Sometimes it's rolling your ankle, weekend yard work, or just playing catch with your kids. That's why we built a team of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, experts in everything from knees and shoulders to spine and sports injuries in hand. Whether you're chasing championships or chasing your dog, we've got you. Learn more at osjax.com. That's osjax.com.
Homeowners, ready to let the sunshine in without letting your energy bills go up? At Renewal by Anderson, you've got 2 ways to save on new windows and doors this month. Take 20% off your entire window and door replacement project, or choose no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. But this offer expires May 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Ackerman Urology has 4 locations for advanced urological care to improve men's health and vitality. Don't suffer the season with prostate, bladder, or kidney issues. Schedule a checkup with AckermanUrology.com.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Fred Taylor. If you've been in an auto accident, you need a team who knows how to get you back on your feet and back to your life. At North Florida Medical Center, they don't just treat the injury, they treat the whole person, from physical therapy to pain management. North Florida Medical Center has a team of experts ready to help you heal and recover. I trust the team here at North Florida Medical Center, and you can too. So don't wait. Call North Florida Medical Center and get the care you deserve.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, gang, Prosser here for my friends Chad and Sandy. What are your concerns? What struggles do you anticipate when it comes time to sell your home? What is it that bothers you? What's keeping you from getting max money as quickly as possible? Well, I don't know what those reasons are because I know they're all silly. Because Chad and Sandy have one down-to-the-line guarantee. Your home sold guaranteed, or they will buy it. It'll be at a price and a rate that you agree upon beforehand. So if you need to sell now, fast, easy, stress-free, and you need max price, then you need Chad and Sandy. The government's making moves intended to push mortgage rates lower. The last time rates dropped, we saw a selling and buying frenzy. Now's the time to prepare. It's time to call Chad and Sandy. Darcy in San Jose did. I wanted to move to a more walkable, vibrant area. Within 3 days of working with Chad and Sandy's team, I found the perfect home. They do it stress-free with a guarantee. Go to chadandsandy.com or call 414-6200. That's chadandsandy.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's Golden Moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, the golden moment today is the opportunity to bring you some audio from Tanner Koziol and also from Emmanuel Pregnon back in hour number 1. You can go listen to those interviews in their entirety. Go to 1010XL.com in the on-demand section. They're just about everywhere. As soon as I start to list all the places you can stream 1010XL content, I'll leave out 5 of them because there are so many of them out there. But definitely be ready tomorrow to stream or just tune your radio to 1010XL if you haven't got there already at 11:15 for Tony Baselli on the program. All right, so that brings us to the final spot in the countdown.
Number 1.
All right, this is where I got Tony. I cheat once again. So I looked at this list and I thought, this is the most obvious guy here is Bashal Tootin.
Yeah, the depth chart's wrong.
Right, or it's not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just think the depth chart is wrong.
It may be, okay? Yeah. But put it this way. If Bashal Tootin had been listed as a starter here, I would have found room for Chris Rodriguez.
He'd be 5 on my list.
Okay, he would have been somewhere in this list. Because I think that you are going to have something approaching a true 3-headed monster on here. And that's why, in parentheses, my other guy, my co-number 1 is LaQuint Allen. Okay, because I do think, in some ways, you can make the argument he's got the more sure role than Bashal Tootin does. If Chris Rodriguez comes in and he's all that in a bag of chips, and Liam Cohen's, harkening back to his Kentucky days, and we got this tough guy, and he's a closer, he's grinding it out, we'll use him at the goal line, you could see a scenario where Bashal Tootin's reps could shrink considerably. Now, I think Bashal Tootin, they really like what they've gotten him, and I don't think it'll be that way, but I don't think that's a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think LaQuint's, call it 1/3 or whatever, 30% or whatever amount of times you're on the field in third down in key, second and longs, key pass protection situations, he's going to be out there. Not every single snap, but I do think my ranking of these two guys together at number 1 is a cheat. Yes, I'm known for that on these top 5 lists, but it's a reflection of how much I think that any given week, if you're a fantasy manager, good luck figuring it out, but any given week could be a Chris Rodriguez week, could be a Bashal Tootin week, could be a LaQuint Allen week, and that's all to the Jags' benefit.
Yeah, I did the mental exercise of putting together a couple different lists this week with the assumption, one of them where I went by the ESPN depth chart and they had Rodriguez as the starter, so Bashal Tootin is eligible for my list. Okay. And the other, if I assume in my mind, I think Bashal Tootin is the starter, right? Like that's kind of how I look at it here in Jacksonville, but that's obviously not what it looks like on the ESPN list. So assuming that Bashal was the starter, I would still have Rodriguez on my top 5. I would have him in number 5 on that list if I was putting it together. And I even, thinking it through, like I would be reading that as they brought in Rodriguez with the idea of we don't want to be in a situation where our best short yardage option is Trevor Lawrence, right? In the back half of the season, they got stuck in that spot over and over and over again. And I think Rodriguez is a solution for that, if nothing else. In the Jaguars offense going into this year, I don't know how much bigger the role was going to be, but as when you mentioned where you had Tootin and LaQuint as your number 1 sharing that spot, I just think the depth chart is wrong. Like
okay,
I think Bashal Tootin is the starter, and that's why he's number 1 on my list.
Okay.
Right? Like if I'm looking at a list that I'm putting together as far as the impact, it's the only one of the 5 that I have on my list that I just look at it and say, they got it wrong. Like, I just think their depth chart is wrong.
I think honestly, I think the more wrong one is Kaiser as a starting linebacker because I do think do you think that Chris Rodriguez will start any games?
He could, yeah.
I think he will.
Yeah.
And depending on what your approach is early, your 15 scripted plays.
Well, it's kind of weird with the Kaiser Gardeck thing because I don't look at either of them necessarily as a starter.
That's fine.
Right, like that strong side linebacker spot, there'll be games where they kind of go to it. That's kind of the Borkature cheat, right? As to whether or not he's a starter, there will be a few games where I think he starts, right? But I don't think he's a starter.
Okay.
Like that kind of thing. But me, number 1, Bashal Tootin, I think is the team's. He's the guy, if they're going to feature a back, it's going to be Bashal. Okay. Like, that's the way that I kind of look at it.
I'm just not convinced they're going to feature a back.
That's fine.
And but either way, I'm with you. I think his role will be significant. Yeah. If I had to bet, it's tough to say. Like, Bajal could have more touches, but if Chris Rodriguez is used inside the 10 and he scores you 10 touchdowns, that's a massive impact on this football team. So anyway, RJ, what do you got at number 1? Or who do you have?
In the words of Pharrell Williams, is that a tree? Is that camouflage? Come get eaten by the damn mirage. I'm a hunter. Travis Hunter. I mean, this is going to be a guy who's going to be the best player on the field on the offensive side of the ball. Not named, the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. So, and like we said, I mean, this is not a guy who needs to have, 90 catches or needs to have even 40 for that matter. What he's going to be able to do on the field in terms of whether you want to stretch the field, whether you want him to just work on intermediate routes. I mean, he's going to break ankles each and every time. I mean, this guy is going to be the guy everyone's going to circle in on when he's on the field. And I don't think that, these guys are going around to different media outlets saying, like, listen, we haven't turned a blind eye to the fact that, maybe we don't need Travis Hunter on the offensive end of the football. No, we want to use him. We want to feature him. And this is going to be a guy who I feel is going to be featured. When I say the word heavily, I don't want to say like 100% of the time, but there are going to be plays out there where he's just going to be dynamic and undeniable. So Travis Hunter is my number 1 on this list.
Fair enough. I feel like, Tony, a missed opportunity for me to clap along because I was so happy with the opportunity to raise the roof on the talent ceiling on the Jacksonville Jaguars as I throw every Pharrell reference I can get in there that I'm aware of. All right, let's go around the league real quick, then we'll come back and we'll look at some of your top 5 submissions. So here we go. Tony Smith with a peek.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
The Los Angeles Chargers have announced the signing of tight end David Njoku to a 1-year deal worth up to $8 million. Buffalo has signed defensive end Michael Dana to a 1-year deal, and Pittsburgh has signed a 4-year, $28 million with their kicker that will keep him there with the Steelers now through the 2030 season.
All right. When we come back, what did you weigh in with in terms of which players you believe belong in the top 5 of today's list? We'll get to the submissions for the non-starters to have the biggest positive impact on the Jags as we wrap up Jaguars today. Straight ahead on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a classic. Dandy is a classic company. They've been in Jacksonville for 70 years. The Thompson family started them way back when in 1956, back when sandwiches were sold out of beer flats right on the counter next to the register. 25 cents to get you ham and cheese. Not refrigerated back then, but hey, it's improved in a lot of ways. Prices aren't 25 cents, but you compare them through to the drive-thrus all over Jacksonville. You're going to get fresher, higher quality food that doesn't weigh you down, not all greasy, going to be delivered fresh daily all around the First Coast with fantastic variety, and the price is still held in check by Dandy, whether that's sandwiches or subs. I'm partial to that tuna salad. They've got a fantastic recipe, and that's the thing. They don't rest on their laurels. Constantly adding to the menu, full breakfast menu, any time of day. If you're hungry for food on the go in Duval, Dandy is absolutely the name to know. So do what I do when you are. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
I just got another NBA offer from Hard Rock Bet.
A Hard Rock Bet promo at the Hard Rock Bet Party? That is so meta.
That's not meta. That's Meta World Peace. Meta. Tell them about Hard Rock Bet.
Hard Rock Bet has it all. Live odds for every NBA game, every player prop, same game parlays, you name it. It's the only place I play these days.
Okay, now that is meta.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be a 9-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Trust me, I know this. I've been dealing with Nimnick forever, and they really are that good. For 3 generations, Nimnick's been the place customers keep coming back to. Customers like me, treating you right, giving the most back to our community, more choices and better prices. It's just the best place to buy cars, and I can promise you that. So who gives you the best experience when you're buying a car? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Ready to join the team? The Jaguars and our stadium partners are hosting a job fair Wednesday, May 20th. We're looking for enthusiastic new faces to serve as ushers, ticket takers, concessionaires, security, and more. Stop by the Prime Osborne Convention Center and apply on May 20th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Professional dress, a pen, and a smile are all you need. There are 1,000 spots to be filled for the 2026 season, so join us and be a part of the Jaguars game day team.
Hey, Hicken here. I want to tell you guys about Lift Power. Lift Power, a Jacksonville-based business, been around for more than 50 years, family-owned and operated, and always on the lookout for good folks, experienced lift truck and knock-and-door technicians. The benefits out of this world: 401k, company vehicle, paid training, sign-on bonus. Offers so great. Come see why Lift Power has been voted one of the best places to work for the past several years as well. We want you to be a part of the family. Don't let this opportunity slip by. To learn more, all you got to do is go to liftpower.com. Check them out at liftpower.com. Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, if they go a certain way, I'll try to reach a point here where we're not repeating the same names over and over and just give you some of the new ones. But here are some of the replies we got to today's question of the day for the top 5 Jags who are not currently listed as starters that will have the biggest positive impact this year. Scott went with Pregnon, Regis, Jarian Jones, Basil Tootin, Nate Borkacher. So he goes with the first 3 draft picks and a couple of holdovers. Bush Drive Rich, LaQuint Allen Jr., third down, pass protection, and special teams. Chris Rodriguez, doesn't really fit because he is listed as a starter, but he's thinking like you. Basil Tootin's a starter. Short yardage specialist for first downs and touchdowns. Koziol, 50-50 balls and size advantage. And then Wyatt Milam and Pregnon, both are future guards. Bring tenacity and physicality. The future is now. Andrew said Ray Lane, best gunner in the league. Scott Jarian, BJ Green, splash plays. That's tough for me, man. Again, this so many guys that you could point to and say this guy, that guy, the other guy that will make some splash plays. But if that's who you believe, that's fine. LaQuint said best hands on the team.
Yeah.
That's running back hands on the team, maybe. But most reliable pass catcher out of the backfield. I don't know if he's got the best hands on the team. I think Jacoby Myers probably has something to say about that. Borkacher, if he staves off an ascending Quentin Morris. Look, Quentin Morris gonna have to fight to get on the field this year. Now, you didn't draft Nate Borkacher to go, we had Nate Borkacher at home in Quentin Morris. They already had him signed to a 1-year deal. I don't think Quentin Morris threatens Borkacher's playing time in the least bit.
Not at all.
So that's me. Let's see. Jag Fan 15. Hunter is big play waiting to happen. He goes Gardeck, Wesley Williams, LaQuint, and Borkacher could have a big impact in the running game. Yes, we hope he does. Ed goes with Travis, Basil, Gardeck, Rook Arororo, which is interesting. And Caleb Bransall. Let's not forget about him either. He's just a little bit more of a mystery.
Yeah.
What is the present state of health with Caleb Bransall?
He was on the short list of players that I considered.
Absolutely. I mean, look, they thought very highly of him last year.
Yeah.
And had he played that rookie season, who knows what we would envision his role to be.
Yeah, Ransall and Husky, but it's like I don't know how to even figure out how to balance that in my own head.
I'm going to have to guess that Ransaw is healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the start of the season, and I'd have to go Ransaw over Husky because for similar reasons why I go Milam over Pregnon, right?
Yeah.
A year here, even being around it, even if you didn't get on the field, I think there has to be some advantage there. But I do think they have some similarities in the versatility that they highlighted here. Let's see. Terrence goes Travis Hunter, Borkature, Rodriguez, Pregnon, and B.J. Green. Based on that depth chart for David, Tootin, Hunter, Borkature, Pregnon, and Jarian. Tootin, Hunter as a receiver, Rook, another vote there, Ransaw and Jarian. Let's see, Strigo gets a vote here for Code Blue. Hunter, Tootin, Milam, Strigo, and Jarian Jones. Ray went with Koziol, Regis, Rook, Jarian, and Milam. Let's see, Brian went with guys, Strigo at number 1, but all guys that we talked about. You know, this is a good point here by Ohio Jags fan. I didn't really make a point other than put the name in. It's got Walker Little at 2. I mean, I don't know what Cole Van Lannen's timeline is.
Yeah.
And if Cole Van Lannen isn't ready to go, Walker Little's your starting left tackle for this football team. You know, so I can absolutely play out that way. For me, I'm hoping that that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
I want all our guys, what they determine to be the frontline guys, obviously to be healthy, and let Walker Little provide a year of quality depth. And we'll draft that swing tackle next year. I don't know. I'm just looking at the ways it could go. But he went with Gardeck at 1, Walker, Jarian, Ransaw, and then a tie for Rook. Well, 5A is Rook, 5B is Milam and Pregnon. So that's a list.
He's got them all.
That takes very much after my own right there. So, all right. Well, all in all, I do think, were there any people on your extended list that we didn't talk about today?
No, at least not as we just went through the names that all the listeners turned in there too. Like I said, with Ransaw and Husky, I didn't know how to divide it, or I might have been able to pick one of those names. I did have Borkature on my consider, but he didn't make my 5 like he did with you guys. I did have Rook on my list. Obviously, I had Jarian Jones there at number 6. Pregnon was on the list, but didn't ultimately get in my 5, right? But that's basically the 10, 11 guys that I had considered.
And it's tough, man, because you don't want to project anybody to get hurt, but you know the reality is some guys will get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I think Jarian's so valuable because, you know, he covers for 3 guys, basically, and he'll get some of his own playing time as well. All right, so fun one today. Got to hear from Emmanuel Pregnon, courtesy of Hayes Carline. Again, listen to these full interviews at 1010XL.com in the on-demand section. Rick Ballou with Tanner Koziol, as well as some of that audio.
Who's the 5th corner? Like, while we're talking about that kind of thing.
Braswell, maybe?
Probably.
I don't know. That's the first name that pops in to my mind right there. I don't know. Devin Marshall. I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that. They didn't even list Braswell. I thought Braswell re-signed.
I did too.
Braswell's not even listed on this depth chart, which is kind of weird.
That is.
But anyway, a lot to do coming up here on XL Primetime. So let's head back up to, I believe, Amelia Island. They're holding the court once again. It looks like Matt Hayes will be joining us right now.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Yeah, for the record, Jaguars.com has Braswell on there.
Yeah,
so
he's on a 1-year, $1.1 million deal.
But that's the first name that I think of there. But, hey, competition at the back end of that room. Matt Hayes joins us right now from the ACC Spring Meetings. Matt, what's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas? We are up here live, of course. A lot going on here with the ACC spring meetings, just like all the other spring meetings, which will be unfolding over the rest of the month of May. A lot going on in college football, a lot of news.
Yeah, no doubt. Anybody in particular that you're hoping to get on today's program?
Yeah, we're going to have Rhett Lashley, and we are efforting, and we're pretty sure we're going to get Mario Cristobal as well.
Awesome. We'll be listening for that. And so we're pretty wall-to-wall college ball, it sounds like, for the next 2 hours.
We are. Yes, we are. It's wall-to-wall college ball. We're going to talk a little Jags. We will never forget our Jags. We've got our Coach Duff. He's coming by. He'll talk to the Jags as well.
Yep. Saw Coach Duff out there Saturday at the minicamp. All right, Matt, have a great show out there. We'll be listening. Appreciate you.
Okay, fellas.
There he goes, Matt Hayes and the crew out at the ACC spring meetings up in Amelia Island. So again, it bears repeating. And from my point of view, Tony Pacelli will join us live on the program scheduled for 11:15 tomorrow. And he's on Gladstone time, so I think that you can expect him no earlier than 11:14. Tony, I don't expect him at 11:10. I should have told Tony 11:10 with the see how that works out. But anyway, I'm not worried about it. Look forward to that conversation with Big Bo tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the program today. Thanks to everybody who played along with the Tuesday Top 5 for RJ Saunders and Tony Smith. I'm Mike Dempsey. Stick around for XL Primetime coming your way for the next 2 hours right here on 1010 XL and 92.5 FM.